1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, everybody, and good morning. So, yeah, it's the next day. It's the second day I work on the district. I cleaned part of it, and I specifically cleaned the front wheel, which we have here. And like I told you last night before going to bed, there's a scratch here. It's pretty deep in the rim. And yeah, I don't know if you can see the black spot here where there's paint missing. That's exactly the width of a screwdriver. So what most likely happened is when the guy before me changed the tire, he just went like this and scratched it, either going in or going out. Same result. The issue with that is that if there's a groove, it goes, towards the center of the metal, it's okay. It's not too bad. But if it there's ridges here, it'll just wear the brake pads quicker. So I just want to give it a light, very light sanding. Try to bring it down. I'll start with 320 and polish it off with, I don't know what I have here. I got P2000. So we'll see how that goes. Just don't want to scratch the paint. Yeah, already better. So polish here. Don't feel a thing anymore with my finger. Yeah, let me just wipe this off. Yeah, if I don't look at it with my eyes closed, I don't know where it is. I can't feel it. So, okay, that's done. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about brake pads. Let me show you what I mean. When I took the wheel off, well, actually, I've seen this before, but I just wasn't completely sure what it meant. Let me show you the original brake pads. I think this is in focus for once. So the brake pads, pretty regular, but they're specific to Bontrager. And yeah, the front is indicated. And as you can see, they wear off more on one side here and goes higher there. So probably wasn't perfectly aligned with the curvature of the wheel. Same here, which might be normal. But yeah, what I really want to show is here. See what it says? For alloy. So, okay, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that they want you to install just regular brakes to work on aluminum alloy rims, because even in 2009 they were aware that some rims were made of carbon fiber, so you need a different set of brake pads. So I got those from China, but hey, the original ones are made in Taiwan, so not really a concern for me. And yeah, it says front. It wasn't specified if they were for carbon carbon rims, but the price I paid, I'm pretty sure they're just for regular regular alloy rim wheels. Okay. What's a little bit of a bummer is that, yeah, I didn't see that on the picture. See this one? The original one is really chrome, polished. This one is brushed. So yeah, I'll see if I can live with it. The shape does match the size and all that. Pretty much the same thing, length and all that. The angle is not quite the same though. This one is a little bit rounder, the original one, unless I'm mistaken, compared to the other one. It's a little bit more straight. So I'll see if it touches any place it shouldn't be touching when I install them. But yeah, I'll feel more comfortable with new brake pads. Are they hard? It's comparable. They could probably be left in. Anyways, I'll try these first, and we'll see how it goes, if I'm satisfied or not. But yeah, that's the idea. Okay, now I just want to address the question of the bearings on the front cog. Start with that. When I turn the wheel, it turns smoothly, but from what I remember, it should turn a little more freely. So I'll watch a few videos. I already did, but I don't see anything specific for the Bontrager front wheel set, so front cog. So I'll watch a little more videos and come back to you. One other thing I forgot to mention, when you change a flat tire, or you just want to change a tire altogether, well, instead of using a screwdriver like the guy before me did, and we've all done it, okay? Well, you need to use plastic tools. Those are great. I always have that little saddle bag that I have under my seat at all times. I have an extra tube in there and an inner tube in case I get a flat on the road. And it happened. I did change a flat on the road a couple of times. So these tools are just, you know, they click together. I don't remember how much I paid for them. I had them for a long time. And yeah, this is how you pry your tire, you know, without damaging it. Then you use this part just to go around your rim. Again, for not scratching anything. See, just clicks in. Great little tool. Yeah. So let me have a think about the front bearings. I'll get back to you. So okay guys, I'm back, and this is what I got. So I removed both, I don't know, end caps, you can call them. And as you can see, there's no washer, there's no lock ring. The cap itself just has two slotted sides, which you tighten with a spanner, and you hold the other one as you do it. You know, turning one clockwise and the other one counterclockwise, and it tightens both on the internal shaft there. Problem is, it's a free shaft, and when you do that, there's only one that comes off. There will always be one a little bit looser than the other, and that's the one that's going to give first. And when you want to remove the other one, we have nothing to grab onto because there's no bolt. There's nothing. So when you start turning the back one, well, this one turns freely. So to remove both of them, either there's a special tool for that, or you need to put two bolts and you lock them together, and you can get, you know, have access to the other one. But that's not my point for right now. Look at this bearing. We'll remove the protective washer, which comes out very easily. And look at this. I mean, the grease is not even dirty. Probably the original color. So yeah, not touching this guy right now. It has no slack in it. It doesn't move. It turns freely. I was under the impression maybe there was a little bit of friction, but no, apparently this is perfect like that. If I were to change it, I would need the exact dimensions, right? And to get the right bearing. And there's nothing written on this washer. Only one number. It says 8. So I suspect it's a 6.9 something. But yeah, I can't be 100% sure. But for the time being, I'm not going to change it. I admit, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought that it would be very dirty, maybe damaged, but nope, this bearing is perfect. And if it's not broken, don't fix it. But now, I just checked the crankset, and yeah, turning, there's resistance. It's unequal, uneven. There's something. So either it's the rear cog, the crankset, or the belt, or maybe a combination of the three components, because I know for a fact that the belt is too tight. So I'm going to remove the wheel, clean it, and have a look at the bearing if I can on the other one, on the rear wheel, to see if there's a difference, if it's any dirtier, any more dirtier. If it's not, well, it's going to stay there as well. And then we'll look at the crankshaft. So yeah, not much of a news, but that's it. I call them as I see them. I'm not going to change it for the just for the sake of changing it, right? I'll be right back. Before I reinstall the front wheel, I just want to show you this. But it's more of a feeling than a visual representation. You're probably not going to see this, but when I turn it, the crank, there's a point where here, yeah, it catches on the top. So I don't know where it is, what it is. One of the three components, like I said, yeah, always here, catches just a little bit. I can tell you just by looking at it, there is more dirt in this, at least this bearing that I can see. Can't see on the other side. So I'll remove the wheel. I'll reverse the bike so I can see more clearly. I'll turn it around. But yeah, let's troubleshoot that. So okay guys, at first glance, everything seems normal. Yeah, I don't feel the resistance I was feeling on the crank arms. Looks and feels normal. Probably a bit of wear and tear on the 22 teeth. original cog. Yeah, there is not that much, but yeah, let me clean it. We'll have a closer look. So, okay, after removing the wheel, I'm just going to start cleaning what's left to clean, which is the rear triangle. And I just want to show you how dirty it is to begin with. Yeah, I hope it's in focus, but get an idea how crowded it is. You know, the brake assembly caliper there was not as dirty in front, but in the back, you know, it's to be expected. And yeah, and yeah, as soon as I'm done, we'll have a closer look at this part. And while I'm at it, now that the belt is removed, yeah, let's just try this. Perfectly silent, nothing binds, nothing, you know, jiggles. Everything's solid. So I suspect that the bearings are going to be great. And yeah, according to the manufacturer, those type of bearings, the sealed bearings, they're good for 1,000 miles, they say. And I doubt very much this bike has ridden that much. I doubt it. But still, I have to upgrade the drivetrain. So I'll have a look at the bearings, but I suspect I won't have to change them, which is a blessing. So good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Next day, again, third day working on the district. And yesterday, well, you saw me cleaning it. I cleaned the back wheel, the rear wheel, and it came out almost as good as the front wheel. A little more scratches maybe. The groove was much dirtier, probably with more grease and grit. So I had to use almost a box of toothpicks to get it clean. The toothbrush wasn't working. It wasn't strong enough. The bristles were a bit too soft. So I can remove the wheel. The wheel is no problem. I took it down. The issue though was those two bolts on each side to hold the eccentric plate. They were, I'm not kidding, they were way over tight and I couldn't release them. Okay, so I put some WD-40, let it soak all night. When I got up this morning, I put the bike down on the ground so I had more force, because you know those bike repair stands, they have their limits. You know, you cannot put 200 pounds of pressure on that. So yeah, I managed to get them loose, and you know, loosen the chain, the belt, and yeah, I'm going to move the bike, okay, and try to get a close shot on that, and explain to you why I was feeling that resistance, that you know, jiggling in the crank arms. I understand now. I understand why this happened. Yeah, give me a second. All set up. Yeah, I also clean the pedals. I'm gonna change them, but you know me. I like cleaning stuff. Okay, guys, let's try removing the wheel first. We'll get the belt as loose as we can. Get it out of the way. So this is the 5mm X. Wrench. That's done. And before I remove the eccentric plates, yeah, we'll do a close-up. I'll try to explain what's going on. Okay, so this is the drive side. Yeah, and like this plate here, okay, which goes behind like that, you can, when you install it, you can put it just about any way you want. You can move it forward, backward, angle it a little bit. It's not that important. You put your wheel in, you try to get them both sort of centered, but you can't never get them perfect, with the spacing here, you try. And after that, it's just a matter of adjusting the tension here. So when you start, you move it back in, so you have more room to adjust this. And once the wheel is there, you put your hex wrench in it and you adjust it, okay, to get more tension. Look at this one here, how protruding it is. It's a 3/16 of an inch out. Now, let's have a look at the other side. Do you see the difference here? It's almost flush. Okay, this part is not flush, but it's flush with this. So, yeah, on the other side, so it's just a little bit different. So, it always moves a little bit. So we cannot, there's no specs, there's no markings on the frame. So you have to guesstimate it all the time. But there's a big difference. What I mean is this one, it's backed up at least 3/16 of an inch more. What does that do? Well, in turn, what happens, you'll never get the wheel perfectly straight between the triangle. And what that's going to do, it's going to skew the whole assembly here, the whole belt. So it's always going to be a little bit skewed like that or like that. And when you get to the point, to a certain pressure point, it's going to rub on one side or the other, either on the small cog side or on the big front cog. There's always going to be a little bit of pressure. It has to be as free as possible on both sides. That's the issue. Let's do another angle of this. So let me just try to show you this a little better. So when your belt is installed, okay, and it's on the cog, okay, every movement of the axle, the distance to the wheel, and the tension will skew it like this, either inwards or outwards, and it'll put pressure either on the cog itself, the rear cog, or the front cog here. It's going to rub against, and probably, in a very small way, but there'll always be a twist. If it's not perfect, on half a turn, it's going to rub inside of the front cog. On the other half, it's going to rub inside of the rear cog. All this is going to create, you're going to feel it when you pedal, and even more when you turn the crank with your hands. So that's really the game. There's no instruction, like I said. You cannot go in a manual and just measure and follow a chart or something. It's almost more like a feel. So you have to put your wheel, adjust this. You keep it loose. At the first stage, you move your screw back in. You put the wheel loosely. You try to center it as best as you can, and it has to be really well seated here on both sides. And you start with that, and you put your belt, and you try to adjust this as best you can. Speaking of this adjustment screw, let's remove the eccentric plates and go on the bench and see what's the shape of this screw, because I think it's pretty chewed up. 6 millimeter hex wrench. Let's remove them. Of course, I've loosened them already. Quite hefty. A little bit of rust inside, but still very good. It's full of dirt, I can tell you that. You can hear it. Oh, there was some Loctite. Yeah, I can see the threads. They're full of Loctite. I'll have to clean that. I don't know if it was factory. I don't remember on my old one. Okay, so that's the drive side. Let's remember that. The non-drive, do the same. I can feel you. Look at it. Was it permanent? Otherwise, we have much more trouble. Try not to mix them. Wow, it's quite percent. So I know which is which. And let's have a closer look on the bench, okay? Okay, so we got the parts on the bench. And yeah, when they're on the bike, they're oriented this way. So you put the wheel, well, your main axle there, okay? So you can't mix them up. There's really a right and a left side. What I believe was the issue was that the screw, the tension adjusting screw was chewed up. But it is a little bit, but not much. But look at this. It still fits, but look, there's only this much going into it. Like more than 1/8 of an inch. There's a lot of tension going there. So when you put your wheel back on, you move this back a little bit. You try to center each of the eccentric plates on both sides, you know, as best as you can with those screws. Okay. And once you fit the belt back on, then you have to back this up. Great system in principle. Problem is, one of your triangle rod is coming here, tube is coming here, and there's a hole there, so it has to go there. The issue is, if you don't adjust this properly, okay, if it's, you know, moved like that a little bit, this side a little bit left, a little bit right, or you move the axle and you're going to get off from the hole. And this was the issue with this one. The hole was off of this center, so you were working like that. This is why the top of it got chewed with time. You have to, you know, get everything lined up. It's very, very hard to explain. It's really, when I say it's a question of feeling, I'm not kidding you. There's no instruction. There's no measurements anywhere. Besides, Trek doesn't have anything. Doesn't have any documentation whatsoever. So you have to make this, you know, be aligned with the hole as best as you can, with having an average distance, not too close, not too far, somewhere in the middle. Maybe you'll have to bank it a little bit. And when it seems aligned, you know, you eyeball it while you tighten those. Not fully tightened, but a little bit. And then you start adjusting. And when you feel that you're starting to get some tension, you readjust those, put them tighter, and so on and so forth. This process alone, I did once when I changed the rear cog. And mind you, I didn't have to change the front one. I didn't have to change the belt. Just this, or even when I changed the flat. Took me hours. Took me a whole afternoon to get it perfect to my taste. And then I tried stuff. I went to ride it for a few kilometers. I came back, adjusted. Took me a whole afternoon, but I finally got it. So I hope it goes okay this time around again. Of course, I have to clean it. I can feel the grit, which doesn't help, Everything has to be clean. I'll re-lube this. I'll put some grease on the threads, and I'll do the best I can. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of rust. So it's the perfect time to clean it. Now, let's have a look at the belt. Let's go wide for a second. So this is the belt. There's 118 teeth. And you have to respect that. Unless you're changing something really dramatic, you would put a really small cog in front, something like that. But if you're keeping the right front cog and the the rear one, you can move it from 22 to 20. You'll still use the same belt. The adjustment, this will move maybe a few millimeters back or forth. Okay, now let's have a closer look. See what shape it is in. Try to show you. Okay, it's a bit dirty. I can see it's rough on the side of each tooth here, which tells me either there was dirt or there was a bit of slippage, although it didn't slip. I'm pretty sure it didn't slip because it was too tight, way too tight. On the side, I don't know if you'll see this, you sort of start to see the fiber, the carbon fiber there. It should all be black. When you get it brand new, and we'll compare it, you do see it, you do feel it a little bit, but not as much as that. Here, the fibers are getting exposed, so there was some rubbing. I'm sure there was. I can see some markings here, so it's been rubbing. It's not equal. Remember, there's damage on the front cog, a little bit of damage. I thought it was going outwards. It wasn't going to affect the belt, but no, I see that it does. There's scratches here. Yeah, it's a little bit of damage. Don't get me wrong. This still works. It's still okay. But since I have to change for a CDX, the CDX will have a groove in here inside. Okay, so next up, let's try to remove the rear cog, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a pain, and I'll explain why. Let me get set up.